Hey guys, how you doing? DJ Pendergrass here, OEB Law. I have Billy Sylvia here, and we're going to give you some facts about potholes. How you doing, Billy?
Good, DJ. How are you?
I'm good, man. I got a few questions I want to ask you, and I typed them all out.
Well, let's do it.
I typed them all out, but I'm going to do an icebreaker. Let's talk about your baseball background. Before we dive into the law, let's talk a little bit about baseball. What was your journey like in sports before becoming a lawyer?
Well, let's see. I played baseball growing up. I played baseball at West High School here in Knoxville, Tennessee. After high school, I went to play baseball at Tusculum College. Played up there for all 4 years of my undergraduate career. And then following my 4 years at Tusculum, I called it quits. Moved on to my professional career, decided that rather than chase a baseball dream, I'd rather chase a legal dream and went to law school instead. So
Absolutely.
that's where it ended.
Absolutely. Did your experience in baseball teach you anything that you apply now in law?
Yeah, it taught me a whole bunch about how my life works now. Discipline, probably the most important thing. Learning about how when you take hard things come your way or things don't go your way, how to bounce back from that, be able to use that to better yourself rather than sit around and be upset that things didn't work out the way you wanted them to. It's
Yeah,
probably the biggest thing I took away from my sports career, my legal
absolutely.
career.
Do you have any regrets?
No, I would if I had any advice for anybody out there, anybody who plays sports and is kind of on the fence on what to do, whether to go to a big university or go to a smaller school and play sports 100 out of 100 times. I would not
Absolutely.
change a single thing.
Absolutely. Good deal. Good deal. Well, let's talk about potholes and vehicle damage. Potholes are destroying cars all over East Tennessee. Who's responsible for the damage?
It really depends. It's kind of a tricky subject here. The state is probably who most people hope would be responsible for their pothole damage, and in some scenarios, the state is responsible for your pothole damage. In terms of who we can actually point the blame to and how we can get some recourse or recoup some money for our damages to our vehicle, that really comes down to whether or not the state was aware that pothole existed. And that's tricky to prove, especially for I even recently myself hit a pothole. I'm going through the very process that I'm trying to explain to you all now. It'll depend on if the pothole had been reported before you hit it or not. And that can be a tricky thing to prove.
Wow. Wow. So if they don't have any note of it, there's really nothing that they can do. You can't prove that. So if someone hits a pothole in their car and is severely damaged, what should they do?
The first thing you need to worry about is getting to safety, right? You got to make sure you're safe. As much as we care about our vehicles and we care about our money and taking care of both, probably the most important thing you need to do is get out of the way. If your vehicle's not operable, pull off the road if you can, get somewhere safe and wait. Um, Beyond that, in terms of what you can do for me to make my life easier for you, call me is the most important thing I can tell you. I don't care if you hit a pothole and you've been a rim or you yourself are hurt. It doesn't matter. If you're in a situation and you're confused on what to do, the best answer is always to call. Even if you call, the worst thing we can tell you is no, and we'll always enjoy talking to you and figuring it out with you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, can drivers sue the city or the county for not fixing potholes? And I know you said that, and it says what proof do they need? So, you've already talked about it. What proof do they need for you to sue the city or the county?
Probably in terms of proof with regards to proving that pothole existed, there's not a whole lot an individual can do, right? Even myself, there's no way I can prove to the city that that pothole was there and they should have known about it. The things that we do need are the things that the people can prove. One, that your vehicle actually is damaged.
Mm-hmm.
Take pictures, take photos, take it to a shop and let them take the photos for you. Get an estimate on what it would look like to repair the damage to your vehicle, whether that's new rims or a new bumper. Whatever the shop decides it is, have them estimate it for you so that we can provide that to the insurance company.
Mm-hmm.
If they make repairs to your vehicle or actually fix it, have a receipt. Make sure you keep your receipt so that we can show them exactly how much you paid to fix your car. Outside of that, that's really about it.
Okay.
If the person themselves are injured, obviously that changes, right?
Right, right.
We need you to go to the doctor. We need the doctor to tell you what's wrong with you. It's got to be beyond just, I don't feel good. we have to have some medical proof of how bad you're feeling, and that requires a doctor.
Absolutely. So, what if a pothole causes an accident? Does that change anything legally?
Again, it can. Okay, I get that these potholes are, and some of them are so big that they're making cars disappear out there, man.
Yeah.
Some of them are pretty bad. If this happens and it ultimately results in a car wreck, you're going to be stuck in the same boat you are trying to prove your property damage. The state has to have notice that that pothole was there before you hit the pothole.
Mm.
Proof of that is difficult to obtain, but that's the legal standard we have to play by.
So, off the question mark here, state has to prove who holds those guys reliable. What if this actually been reported and they're just kind of just throwing it off? Like, who holds them reliable?
In reality, themselves is the best answer I can give you. There is no, I mean, as far as I know, and I don't pretend to be the Mr. Know-It-All when it comes to the state of Tennessee and how they report their problems, but
Mm-hmm.
them, the oversight that they have,
Well, do you have any way to go into the system and see if it's been reported as a lawyer?
not that I'm aware of. No, I don't think there is a way for us to really dig down deep. The other part of this that it can be important is if the pothole has been there for an extraordinary amount of time. The law states that they either know or they should have known that that pothole was there.
Okay.
The know factor, whether the state knows, is a report. Somebody would call and say, hey, this pothole's, I've hit it, it messed my car up, fix it. The should have known is even trickier than that, right? It's not as cut and dry, but there is a world out there where an attorney can prove, hey, this pothole has been here for too long.
Mm-hmm.
More than likely, months
Mm-hmm.
would be probably what I would expect. They may not have actual notice. Nobody may have actually reported it to the state, but they should have known. Right. They drive these roads just as much as we do.
Absolutely.
If John hits one on his way to work for TDOT, then John should have reported the pothole.
Right.
That kind of argument gets to come in, but it's not as simple as, well, it was there for 3 days, they should have fixed it.
Right.
TDOT maintains the roadways for the entire state of Tennessee.
Absolutely.
It's got to be a pretty lengthy amount of time for us to make that argument.
Gotcha. And you and also another lawyer here in the office has been taken down by these potholes.
Oh,
yeah. Moving forward, if someone crashes because of a pothole and gets seriously injured, can they file a personal injury claim?
You can. The standards are still the same that we've been talking about since we started this interview, DJ, where notice is going to be the key factor that we have to work around. I would tell you that call us, let us look at it, let us talk to you about it, let us see if it's something that we can do or help you with. But there's definitely a world out there where the pothole's so bad that an individual gets personally injured due to the pothole being there, and we would still have to chase the same cat. We'd still follow the TDOT path.
Right.
The standards are still the same, but there's definitely a world where we could potentially help you.
Absolutely. So, how does a driver prove that a pothole was the direct cause of an accident or injury?
It's tricky, man. It's a tricky world out there, and as much as it pains me to tell people this, it's part of it's there for a reason, right? Notice is part of this equation for a reason. We want to protect TDOT because we want them to fix these potholes as quick as they can.
Absolutely.
But probably the best thing I can tell you to do is take a picture of the pothole. Pull off to the side of the road if your car is inoperable. Pull off to the side of the road if you can.
Mm-hmm.
Set up shop. Make sure you're all safe. Make sure everybody's good in the car, and then snag a picture of the pothole. In my case that we currently have ongoing, we went back, I guess probably 3 days after I actually hit it. Took a picture of the exact pothole we hit. It had been repaired. So if you can do it while you're there or sooner than 3 days, hopefully
you can get nothing you can do about that.
You can get a better picture than I did.
Oh man. Oh wow. So how does that go? It's patched now. You took it 3 days later. What is your credibility?
Well, it kind of, and what I hope happens is that it cuts my way, right? Probably not patching a pothole you don't know exists.
Yeah, absolutely.
So hopefully they realized, hey, this pothole's causing damage to people. Somebody's reported it, and that's good for me.
Right.
Because hopefully I hit it after the report and before the patch.
Absolutely.
Then I win.
Absolutely.
And they'll take care of my car. And that's what we want that's the result we want everybody to have.
Gotcha. Take note of that. Go ahead and write that down. That's something you need to know. That's good right there. Wow. So, how does OAB law help someone injured due to a pothole related crash?
It's the same way we help everybody, DJ. Call us. Pick up the phone. Call the telephone number. You'll get somebody on the phone. You're not going to talk to a robot. Somebody will answer the phone for you.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll find, if they don't know the answer to your question, they'll find somebody who does. And I guarantee you somebody here knows an answer to the question you have.
Absolutely. Now, are there cases where the government or any other entity has been held responsible for injuries caused by potholes?
Of course. You can get on the TDOT website right now and file a claim. If you have a pothole case, if you have a car damaged by a pothole and you have the proof necessary that you think you to win that case, TDOT has a website you can get on. They have a spot where you can file a claim. It'll walk you through it. You will have to talk to a robot on TDOT's end. So walk through that process with them, and they'll take care of that for you. Or call us.
What's one thing you wish people know about pothole related claims before they call it in time?
The notice factor. I think a lot of people, as soon as they hit a pothole, they immediately assume, well, that pothole shouldn't have been there. I'm upset. I'm angry. I want answers now. I want to hold somebody accountable. I think people understanding the law and knowing what they need to prove their case helps people stay cool, calm, and collective because they know, hey, I do have a way that I could potentially get some help here. I'm not out on my own. I don't have to just be mad at the world. If I follow these steps and gather this proof, I exponentially help myself hopefully get the outcome I want.
Absolutely. Good stuff on that. Last question. How can people get in touch with you if they need help after a pothole wreck on their car or their health?
And pick up the phone. It's the number one way to get in contact with us. At this point, social media, we have ways to get to us through social media. Really, any way that you can think to contact somebody, you can contact me. Now, if you call the office, you may not end up on my phone immediately. These lovely people, they'll get you to me eventually, and we'll take care of you as soon as we can.
Absolutely. Guys, the .com site is wreckintoacheck.com. Wreckintoacheck.com. And that's even if you hit a pothole. So wreckintoacheck.com. Or you can give us a call here in the office at OAB Law. Numbers 865-546-1111. Again, that's 865-546-1111. Mr. Sylvia, thank you so much for taking the time, man.
Thanks, DJ. Always a pleasure.
Watch out for those potholes.
Yeah, I have to.
And you guys too. Have a great day.